You ever feel that slow, kind of subtle drift in your life, that pull towards selfishness and, away from the person you really want to be? Well, in this explainer, we're going to distill a really powerful message into a simple principle that acts like a kind of spiritual anti-gravity. All right, so here's our roadmap. First, we're going to define the problem, this gravitational pull. Then, we'll get into the foundation for the solution, reveal a simple two-word antidote, and even look at how we might be sabotaging ourselves. And then we'll wrap it all up with 3 practical ways to fight back. So, first things first, let's talk about the core problem, because it's a force that is constantly at work in our lives, whether we notice it or not. I mean, does this sound familiar to you? You start off strong, you've got great intentions, but then, over time, you just find yourself needing a wake-up call. You've drifted. It's a super common human experience. But why? Why does it happen so easily? Well, the source material gives us this really powerful metaphor, a gravitational pull. Just like actual gravity, it's this invisible force that's always pulling us. But it's not pulling us toward godliness, it's pulling us towards selfishness. And here's the key. If you do nothing, you don't just stay still, you drift. Okay, so if that's the problem, how do we resist this pull? Well, the answer starts not with what we do, but with who we are. And this is a fundamental shift in how we see ourselves. This chart just highlights a huge distinction. On the left, you've got the idea that you have to do good things in order to become worthy, right? But on the right, that perspective is totally flipped. You do good things because you already are worthy. You're already accepted. Your actions are flowing from a secure identity, not in a desperate race for one. So with that foundation set, let's get to the core solution. The source, drawing from the book of Ephesians, reveals this surprisingly simple weapon against that gravitational pull. So Paul lays out this list of behaviors, and these are all clear signs that you're getting dragged down by that gravitational pull. He says these things are just out of place for someone whose identity is secure. But here's the thing. He doesn't just leave us with a list of don'ts. He gives us a really powerful do instead. And there it is. Right after that whole list of things to avoid, Paul just inserts these 2 simple words: be thankful. It's not a suggestion, it's a command. This is positioned as the direct, active alternative to all those other behaviors. This is the antidote. And this really shows what gratitude is. It's not just some passive feeling that happens to you, it's an active tool. The source uses this incredible analogy. When a fire is dying down, you don't always need to throw on new logs. Sometimes you just need to take a poker and stoke the embers to bring that flame roaring back to life. Gratitude, that's the fire poker for our souls. Okay, but if gratitude is so powerful, why isn't it our default setting? Let's take a look at how we, often unintentionally, feed the very problem we're trying to solve. The source outlines 5, let's say, easy ways to end up with an ungrateful heart. Number 1, compare yourself to others. That's a fast track to either pride or despair. 2, keep score of your sacrifices, which just breeds resentment. 3, embrace entitlement, that feeling that you're owed something. 4, go on autopilot with your faith. Just go through the motions. And 5, obsess over what you don't have, and you'll become totally blind to what you do. And that point about entitlement is absolutely crucial, because entitlement is the direct enemy of gratitude. Think about it. You can't be truly grateful for something you feel you are owed. The 2 ideas just cannot exist in the same heart at the same time. And this quote just puts it perfectly. That gravitational pull of our culture is constantly yelling at us, telling us we don't have enough. But gratitude's the force that says, wait a second, look again. It completely reframes our perspective and brings this amazing sense of contentment and peace. Okay, so let's bring this all home with our final section, the action plan. How do we actually start stoking that fire and defying this gravitational pull every single day? The source gives us 3 really clear, actionable disciplines. First, make gratitude an active practice, not just a fleeting feeling. Second, actively seek wisdom to guide your choices instead of just drifting along. And third, live with urgency, making the most of every opportunity, because today is all we're promised. And for that second one, seeking wisdom, here's a super simple tip. The book of Proverbs is just a goldmine.
Reading one chapter a day, which literally takes about 3 minutes, is such a powerful way to intentionally fill your mind with wisdom instead of all the world's noise.
And this really gets at that final point on urgency. So often we think, oh, I'll get to that later, I'll fix that relationship tomorrow, I'll start that dream next week. But this is a call to action. The opportunity we have is right now, today. We got to make the most of it. So we're going to end with this challenge. Gratitude isn't passive, it's an action, it's a choice. It is the force we can use to push back against that constant downward pull of selfishness. So, what's it going to be for you? What specific, concrete opportunity to be thankful will you seize today?